Their clothing is distinct, their membership loyal. Sunday's church service has just wrapped up, and you can see the parking lot is full. Dozens have come out, all undeterred by Manitoba's public health order, which makes gatherings like this illegal. The Church of God Restoration has become well known in recent months, making headlines as it fights pandemic restrictions.
I have a valid court order here today.
And igniting a fierce battle that's pitted religious freedoms against public health measures. In Manitoba, Pastor Tobias Tisson has a warrant out for his arrest for allegedly violating health orders. He faces over $10,000 in fines, his church up to $1 million.
We are still here. So if there's a snitch watching here, why don't you go and let the RCMP know that I'm still here and I'm still waiting for them to do the arrest.
Former parishioners who spoke out to CBC say what's missing from the spotlight is the congregation's tight rein on parishioners.
I believe Church of God is a cult. You have no freedom. You can't think for yourself, nothing. You just follow the leaders.
Tina Wall fell in love with the church almost a decade ago. She was a loyal follower until 2019.
When we started going there, everybody was very friendly.
Within months of joining, Wall followed the church's dress code, white underwear and dark stockings on at all times outside the bedroom. She says she was told she'd go to hell if she didn't comply, and alleges she was encouraged to cut off contact with outsiders, including her parents.
We felt the need to do it. Like, they would never tell us, you have to. But with time, if you don't do what they expect us to do, we knew, we were going to hell or whatever. Like, the conviction was so strong, right? Like, you don't question them, and then that's how they get you to obey their rules.
Wall says as she grew as a member, she wasn't allowed to go on the internet without a pastor present. She alleges her phone was locked by the ministry with a code and says she was warned she'd go to hell if she left the church.
We stand at a most critical time in history. I believe the conflict of all times will soon be over.
The congregation believes the end of the world is near. This is one of its leaders speaking in the United States against pandemic restrictions, Hollywood, and power. The church opposes modern medicine and vaccines. Wall says she saw a member with cancer fight horrific pain, choosing not to get treatment. The woman eventually died.
Oh, for a while it was like every day, like, what if I get cancer? What if I get this? Like, no treatment, no help, no nothing.
The church is led by 11 apostles. Ray Tinsman is its leader, based in Ohio. He responded in 2019 to the accusation the church was like a cult.
Then we would have to define a cult. And in my opinion, some broad explanations of a cult is the Christian church of the book of Acts.
Tinsman says his church would never coerce anyone, but does pressure members to stay. He agreed there is no reason for parishioners to leave. Gloria Fraze grew up in the church. Her parents were ministers. She says she was expected to be perfect and was warned she'd go to hell if she left.
Your friends or even your spouse is expected to tattle on you if you are doing something against the church.
She said goodbye during a church-wide split in 2000, but still has vivid memories.
When your childhood and youth is destroyed like that, that's something that does impact you for forever, basically.
Stephen Kent studies alternative and controversial religions. He defines a cult as a group that uses undue influence to create obedience and dependency.
The patterns of control that are manifesting themselves around this group are fairly typical of high-demand, manipulative, cult-like groups.
Kent says the difference between a church and a cult is the relationship with the outside world. Experts say churches should not tell followers they will go to hell if they leave, or have members report on each other.
The unethical groups want people not to think for themselves, use their conscience. They want rules-based obedience.
Hello. Oh, hi, is Henry there, please? The church has declined several requests for an interview. When we went in person, we were asked to leave. But in a statement, Pastor Tobias Tisson says he's never had any dealings with the people in this story. He encouraged anyone with questions to get in touch. His lawyer says it's normal for churches and organizations to have belief systems, adding those who agree with them will join, while those who disagree will leave. She added personal choice is the essence of the fundamental freedom to associate.
I just think that people need to know that they're not what they appear to be.
Warning, people should know what they're signing up for. Austin Grabish, CBC News, near Sarto, Manitoba.